She found the lost boy, eyes that are crying closes, glad to be unhappy. Boy gives her dying roses, ecstatic agony and nights of rousing glories. Hungry hearts and hands that tell 10,000 stories, open wounds, and the one word they're filed under. Her endless eyes have known hardship and wild wonder, kisses that cure, and the moment that cured the kiss under a spell. And maybe there's no words for this, he sees fire and feels new bones grow, halfway around the world and only a stone's throw. Deep breath and what it tries to imply, a great big smile that's as wide as the sky, locked in embrace and the threads of the suture. This is how it feels when you see your own future. It feels like a weapon loaded with ammo, just like the pretty song kills the piano. Hands that heal invisibility, believe under the water the inability to breathe feels like feels like still can't breathe. Still can't breathe. Almost afraid to say a single word that weighed a ton. Darkest night, off to war, afraid of guns, handwritten. The one you bleed truly for. Days like so many empty lockets in the jewelry store. Bats fill the sky and at last read the headline. Books that've been all day waiting for bedtime. Burn new flame, anguish that is graphic. Vulnerable to the wind and oncoming traffic on one-way streets. Knowing what to look for and seeing her sitting on the floor of a bookstore. Ice has memory, watching her undress. Towers of light so pretty and wondrous. Promises made, trying to understand. Lying down in a hidden place in Wonderland. The making of brand new memories and recalling. Upside down and the feeling of free falling. Hands that heal invisibility, believe. Under the water, the inability to breathe feels like and I still can't breathe. I still can't breathe. Still can't breathe, Emily.
Still mildly terrified?
Well, we're about to move into the scary part.
Do you ever do that thing where you visualize the next morning when it's all over?
Yeah, even, I can't even really imagine there's a tomorrow at this moment.
Everyone, it's been a great privilege to have had the opportunity to write a piece, especially for this program. We have our soloist who's going to be reciting, and then also on turntables and a laptop. This is the first time we've had a laptop with the symphony. And I went around in the intermission today, and I kid you not, he had his Gmail open and he was checking email. And I don't even know if he was doing that while we were playing, but you know, you get wireless in here, so it's quite possible. So we have, it's been written especially for Buck to solo on, and we have another soloist, principal cellist in our orchestra, who leads a double life as an improviser. Please welcome Norm Adams on cello. This piece is called Hymnpeace Remixed. Hymnpeace is the title of a little sketch, a kind of chorale, just 8-bar tune that I wrote. I usually don't say much about extra musical influences, but I feel like I'm in good company, so I'll share this with you. I wrote just the fragment that I've used for this piece back in March 2003, and I was in my student hostel in New York watching the first few minutes of the war in Iraq. And the only way I knew how to express myself was to keep running into a practice room every few minutes to work on my counterpoint, as you do. So I wrote a melody and I harmonized it. I just really needed to write something optimistic, but I think it still has a sort of bittersweet quality to it. So years later, I used this fragment and I remix it for orchestra. So generally speaking, this piece has two sections, a slow section and a fast section. And in the fast section, you'll hear this melody being passed around the orchestra from the strings first to the woodwinds and then finally to our soloist. And what I was trying to do was create this sort of growth only through color and orchestration, keeping the same tune going round and round. We also have, what also interests me is this idea of people who improvise, playing with people who are playing music that's written down. I'm also an improviser, and it's continually fascinated me, this boundary between what's written down and what's not. So the part that Buck will be playing is completely improvised, except just like an actor who prepares an improv. You know, we've been speaking for the last few days, can you do this here, can you try that there? And he's very open-minded, and he's got some great ideas. And Norm is playing a part that, for the most part, is written down, but there are two big sections where he and Rich totally let loose, so they improvise too. And the piece also has a very prominent percussion part written for the fabulous Terry O'Mahony on drums. Again, a very open-minded musician. I've been pestering him for the last 2 weeks, as a composer does, because I said, I want you to play drum kit because I know you're a fabulous player, but I want pretty much everything in the kit replaced by something that sounds very grungy. And so he's got djembes and sizzle cymbals, and he's using these sticks, which to get, you know, we believe in real professionalism here, to get that exactly the right sound, that those sticks were lovingly prepared by being run over by a truck. So the ends are all frayed, and they give you just the right sound that you need. Yeah, you can order them at music shops, and finally this wonderful hi-hat that sounds like a broken plate. I wonder if you could just I think he found it in an antique shop, and it looks like one of those iron crosses that came off an old warplane. So there we go. This is Hymnpeace Remixed. Hope you enjoy it.